if you start to do inquiry into who am I, and you start work with this pure self, that sometimes what happens, it doesn't have to, but sometimes what happens is you start really perceiving that what if consciousness is singular? Erwin Schrödinger, the founder of quantum mechanics, said, consciousness is a singular, the plural of which is unknown. And I always like that phrase. But what if it really is? So, in a sense, as you're getting a sense of this I amness, and we talked a little bit about that in terms of how you'd actually feel into this I amness, which you can do right now. And of course, that I amness is not a substance, it's not an eternal soul, as Rinpoche was pointing out. Certainly, according to Buddhism, it's neither an Atman nor a not Atman. You can't say it's both or either. But sort of metaphorically, you get the sense of just this pure I amness. And if you just sort of also get the idea that what if it is the only one? What if there really is only one self? Everybody's heard this a million times. There's only one spirit. So why don't you start with that? And one of the ways to do that is just imagine, just as if you're dreaming at night, and you're dreaming of all these multiple selves, there's still only one dreamer, is there? And you wake up and you go, that was just me. So if you do the same kind of thing, just as a metaphorical approach, and imagine what if there is just this one self of mine? That there's no other self anywhere in the universe. You're it. Now, what does that feel? If you actually feel into that I amness and realize that all of this is just a dream, it's just a projection of myself. Sometimes, if you're doing that kind of meditation, there's a kind of a period, a little zone in meditation where it gets desperately lonely. Because if you actually think into it, where did this stuff come from? Where did this universe come from? What do you think? It has some big bang 15 billion years ago? That's a stupid answer. Where did it come from? Right now. And on the absolute side of the street, not the relative side of the street, Big Bang, evolved, reptiles, plants, dinosaurs, asteroid, bad, mammals, civilization. That's sort of the relative side of the street. But the absolute side of the street is happening moment to moment, out of this unborn I amness. All of this is issuing forth, moment to moment. And you're it. There's not another soul any place in the entire universe. You are it. All I am is a figure in your dream. And you've orchestrated all of this. And as you sit with that one self, extraordinary aloneness can set in. And Plotinus famously described the spiritual quest as a journey from the alone to the alone. And the second one is capitalized. So it's the journey from the alone through crowds to the alone. And that I amness, one and only, is what there is and all there is. And you are really it. So sometimes, just as a kind of a little bit of an experiment, just sit with that sometime. What does that really mean? And the sheer uncanniness, the sheer mystery of your existence can start to become extraordinary realization. And as you push into that, gradual or sudden, there's a snap, a realization, a Kensho-like experience of just what it all means, in terms of just not an answer, but in a simple, obvious, radiant, luminous emptiness, moment to moment. Self-realizing, self-liberating, self-existing, self-knowing. And it is a trip from the alone to the alone. And that's what we meant by occasionally. That's what it feels like.